Good afternoon, everybody. Yesterday was one of these days for me that shows like the level of divine providence, Hashgacha Pratis, which really, if we're true believers, it should not impress us that much. We should just be, we should be in constant awe of the level of divine providence, the infinite level of divine providence that God, in His tremendous love for us, bestows upon us. But once in a while, you need a reminder. Of course, God's divine providence extends to every subatomic particle in the universe, both material particles and immaterial particles, an infinite number of worlds that God created that are all awake and alive with the power of God. And so it should not impress us, but it does because of the tzimtzum that blinds us to the reality of God. But then every now and then, within this reality, we get a wake-up call. And so I just saw what happened to me yesterday, personally. Excuse me. I wake up in the morning, gotta go to work, but I don't know what time I have to be at work because I don't know what time I have to leave work. In general, I work what they call a 7.5 hour a day. They don't include lunch break, so it's really 8 hours that I'm there, or on the clock. And like right now, I'm working, but I'm traveling for work. And when I'm there for I really didn't have to be there till noon, but we had a new chaplain coming in. I'm the head chaplain in the institution where I work, and we had a new chaplain coming in, Native American chaplain coming in. I knew he'd get there around 10:30, and I was like, and then I might have to stay till 8 to cover. We have volunteer, what we call Eastern traditions, Buddhism, Hinduism chaplain who comes in, and that's the way these types of things work. So whatever it is, we have our program, whatever. So the Buddhist Hindu program was like from 6 to 8. So I had to be there till 8 to cover that because a volunteer needs to be monitored. But I had to be there for the Native American chief. So like all these things going on yesterday. So I was like, I didn't know maybe someone else might cover it. So I was like, let me go in my regular time, and if whatever it is, I'll put in extra hours. It is what it is. So I was there, whatever, not going to get into the whole thing. I get there in time, and like one of my co-workers kept telling me, don't tell the institutionalized persons that the Native American chief was coming to the feast that they were observing yesterday, because maybe something will go wrong, maybe he won't be able to come. So I get there, Monday morning, and I had a message from Sunday. He can't make it. He has a flat tire. I called him up. I was like, he lives an hour away from the institution. I was like, can I come pick you up and bring you here for this feast to do the ceremonies? And he was willing to do that. And if I hadn't come in early, I wouldn't have been able to handle that. And then if I would have gone and picked him up, he would have been an hour late, whatever, it would have complicated things immensely. So to me, the fact that I didn't know, and I was trying to call work to find out what time I was supposed to come in, what's going on. And since I didn't know, that's what happened. So that really, to me, was what I would call hashgacha pratis, that this was divine providence showing God's hand to make sure that everything should go how it should go. And the thing was all right, so then why do you have a flat tire? Why couldn't he take himself? It was cool that I got to spend those 2 hours with him to get to know him, because, I'll be his supervisor, and to see is he really the right man for the job and everything. And, we got along very well. And then, that's another interesting thing. Here we are, men from 2 different tribes, spiritual leaders from 2 different tribes, essentially, and we were talking about our differences and our similarities and other religions and everything, and it was just so amazing to spend that time with the chief. This was something, the last time I ever got to really experience, talking to a Native American chief was when I was in 6th grade. I remember a Native American chief came to speak at my school. I was in public school. That man has since passed on. He actually passed on not too soon after that, I was very impressed by that experience back then, and to have that now, we talked about that. We talked about all different things that I talked about certain things from the Jewish tradition, he talked about certain things Native American tradition. We compared and contrasted, and it was really quite nice. And also the challenges we have keeping an ancient tradition alive in the modern world, the challenges of technology, the challenges of both the challenge of technology and the usefulness of technology to keep our traditions alive, like what I'm doing right now. So all of these types of things I found to be extremely, extremely positive. And I mentioned to him, in the Bible, in the book of Malachi, it says, from the rising of the sun to the setting thereof, great is my name among the nations, says the Lord of hosts. Everywhere where they're offering incense, it's all to my name. It's a pure offering. And I think about that, in our interactions with people of other faiths, and I recognize, they speak of the Creator. That's, maybe they're not experiencing the same traditions that we have, but it's all one Creator that we all worship. So it was a very positive experience yesterday. On a totally different note, I wanted to talk about a little bit of my own insights about what's going on in the mourning period after the passing of Senator John McCain. I voted for Senator McCain when he ran for president in 2008. I was, very supportive of, in particular, I wasn't such a big fan of his until he took Sarah Palin on into his campaign. I thought that was, one of the best things he did in the campaign. People are noting the differences between him and President Trump. The big difference is President Trump won. I think people should remember that. But all this being said, and their personal issues and everything, and everyone is going and making President Trump the bad guy. And I'm not saying he's innocent with all of this. Yeah, certainly it was disrespectful to say, that he's not a hero. I like people who don't get caught and things like that. It's very disrespectful. We can disagree on policies and this and that and reform. That was a very disrespectful thing to say. But that being said, John McCain, I know, we don't talk about the dead, especially right after he passed away. I mean, to me, this whole idea of just deciding on your ending, treatment, very foreign to me. The same thing was with Barbara Bush, and whatever it is, what it is. But because he was totally lucid, he was totally, But to end your life with a petty argument instead of I remember my Zayd Alav Shalom, he had personal machlokes with someone in the shul, and everyone knew something was up because like a few weeks before he passed away, he went and apologized to him and made peace with him. And for someone to go to their grave not being at peace with someone, I find that to be very sad. I mean, I know people are like that, but that's not a very heroic thing, and to like insist that whoever the president of the United States is, as much as you might disagree, to insist, oh, he's not welcome at my funeral and things like that. And I'm like, and the president is honoring that, he's not going to the funeral. Not, and I'm sure he would if Senator McCain wanted him to be there. He didn't want him to be there, but like to come to the end of life with that type of pettiness is very troubling to me. And the thing is really, we should live our lives not knowing what tomorrow might bring, and try not to walk around with these type of petty little things. And just treat everybody with respect, even if you disagree with them. We could agree to disagree. That was kind of something else that came out of yesterday with the Eastern Traditions class. I pipe up every now and then in the class, and they were discussing things, and it was so beautiful. It was like our value in a Torah society of machlokas l'shem shamayim, of argument for the sake of heaven, in order to learn more, which I was featured some years ago on a video. It's not on my YouTube channel, but you could look it up, where I was talking in a video chat, with Reform and conservative rabbis, and we were discussing this, and it was moderated, panel essentially. We were discussing this issue of machlokas l'shem shamayim, and that's how you really learn. And it was really quite a beautiful thing that they were discussing, very deep issues in ethics and morality and existentialism and within the line of the Eastern traditions, with other religious traditions and other non-religious traditions as well, and it was really quite nice. I really liked it. It's interesting how this fellow, he said, one of the members of this group, he was saying, I subscribe to the Eastern idea that really everything is one, and not the Christian idea of the duality of good and evil. This is what this guy said, and I was like, that's really a biblical idea. And he's like, I agree. He feels that like the Christians have interpreted the Bible, and I said, but that also comes from an Eastern tradition. It comes from the Zoroastrian tradition. Not to put down the Zoroastrians, I'm just saying, was that influence, did that influence come from Persia, into Christendom? And really, in essence, in Judaism, we don't have that same type of that duality. We see evil as being lesser than good. We see good as, but really just being as being what comes out from God. It says in Scripture, good and evil don't come from God. All there is just the one great light unity of God, and the good and evil is how we receive it. It's the same thing. So the sun rays come from the sun, lahavdil, but it's like a mashal, a parable. The sun rays come from the sun. Plants can pick them up and make photosynthesis, or they could be burned up by it. You could have vitamin D in your body from that, or God forbid, skin cancer. And it's not that the sun rays are good or bad. It's just how do we receive them. And so too, there's only one God, and everything comes from one God. And good and evil is just how do we receive it. So, thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. And I'm gonna eat a little bit of lunch now before I go in. All right. Thank you.